We'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which this project is created, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We would also like to pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging.
Settle down and gather round for another tale. In the world of Nua, where time has carved and cultivated a magical utopia of wonder, a small group of adventurers unlock the deep mysteries of the land, its people, and themselves. Welcome to the Down Under Dungeon podcast.
Is this it? A single choice, a yes or no, and my entire life shifts. I thought they valued me more. Was I merely a transaction? Was all our effort, all our exhaustion, all our suffering in vain? We journeyed for weeks to safeguard the Professor and discovered something greater than ourselves, beyond our timeline. Betrayed by Holly, wounded by the heavens themselves, yet I'd endure it all again to prove I'm more than a servant to the Priory. Returning to the city was surreal. A maelstrom with no lightning raged through the canyon walls. People, children, marked with the raindrop of Persephone. Surely Yellen didn't conjure this storm. She seemed not so powerful. Could Lady Persephone have granted her godlike abilities? If so, I fear for Lala Jod's people. Yellen isn't fit to guide them into a new era. Her intentions seem to exploit their expressive nature. I resist anger. But my oath to protect the people demands I feel something. Yet, their decision is clear. Excommunication. A nobody. But, I wonder, I adopted my name from their ancient tomes, Lysandra, the knight who ascended to the gods of sky as an angel. Now marked as a demon by those who seek my end, do I tarnish her holy legacy? Only time will tell. I'm unsure of any other name, for I was not named at birth. Just the daughter of the witches.
He's like an iguana, and they have to like peel it off there.
You're gonna have the eye cap.
What the fuck?
Is that just
What the fuck?
millennial like stuff?
No, what? No,
I just don't know skincare.
But millennials do know iguanas.
this is not how we're starting the episode.
No, this is currently how it's starting.
I feel very targeted right now, as the only millennial at the table.
Sorry.
And outrightly, we are fucking better and cooler than Gen
I'm clearly profane and jaded. Clearly. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on. Sorry. Pop a D20 to the temple. Or to the ear. Is that too soon?
Oh. There's another moment. I'll catch up. Give me one.
I can't get over the Trump supporters. I can't get over the Trump supporters wearing bandages on their ears in support of him at rallies.
So embarrassing.
Oh, God.
Like, what type of propaganda is this?
Oy, bad one.
Well, clearly not.
Do you know what? I actually almost prefer it because they're putting like a symbol on themselves.
Yeah,
like, avoid me.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the MAGA hat and the boomerism didn't the ear bandage is like, oh. That's
Did you see, though, Donald Trump released a, reel with him and Logan Paul?
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
they had
it
a
was-
full podcast together.
Yeah. I was like, I saw it and I was like, what the frick? Like,
Yeah, stick to energy juice.
yeah. Stick to all of that. Don't get into
Or
politics.
just go away. That's also an option.
Or just go away.
Again, proving the point that if you are blonde hair and blue eyes, you will be marketed.
Yeah.
I now feel targeted at the table.
Well, yeah, what's wrong with you, Amber? Where's your water? Like, energy drink line. Let's go.
My energy drink line is buying coffee from my local barista. That is it.
We're going to stop here so we can train Amber in MMA fighting.
Yeah.
We're going to have to diversify.
Thanks
our
for sticking with us this far, but that's pretty nice.
Yeah. We'll get Joe Rogan on next. Alrighty. So, after the last episode, you returned back to Elal Udrud after using the Moon Gate with the help of the Professor to manipulate space. However, when you returned to the city, it was in a state you had not seen before, as you were summoned into a huge maelstrom which had covered the city and blanketed it in water.
Thanks, Yellen.
God, Yellen.
Returning to the Four Eyes and gathering yourselves, Qwig and Feng remained in the Four Eyes tent to sleep off that last level of exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm having a nap day.
We deserve it.
It's a rotten bed day.
Yeah, Feng and Qwig still have a level of exhaustion, so...
Whereas Lysandra and Louis went to investigate, you inquired at where you thought Yellen's tent was, but it had been relocated to the last lagoon. Travelling down into the city, you noticed the environment had changed from the initial rainfall, as all of the species dormant to this region seemed to flourish all at once. Beautiful and somewhat unnerving at the same time. Amidst the destruction at the bottom of Udrud Gorge, you entered Yellen's tent, surrounded by her sycophants and converts to the tears of Persephone. Inside, Lysandra was confronted by the mother Yellen.
Sister Yellen.
Yeah, obviously, Sister Yellen, always Sister Yellen. Not even Sister anymore, actually, just Yellen.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve a title.
Yeah, every time I say that name now, I've just got distaste in my mouth.
Okay, drop that pretty quick. Inside, Yellen revealed her intentions of challenging the Jarl's rule in order to cement her control in the city and the flourishing of her religion.
So shady.
So shady, oh my god.
What is shadier still is she had contacted the Priory of Skye in Feldspar and made a formal request to order Lysandra as her champion in the election's trial by combat, which can be invoked by the former Jarl in defense of their claim. Lysandra handedly refused that offer and was stripped of her titles as a holy knight, her benefits, and her insignia and memorabilia from the church.
Yippee! I'm so joyful. Thank you, Emerson.
As you push back the curtain and return to the last lagoon, you breathe in fresh air as you almost try and control yourself and try not to have another outburst like last time. You are now just in your tunic. Your periapt is gone, your armor is gone, and you just...
Oh, what? She's already lost it all?
Well, yeah, she decided no. She's
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Damn. I was going to try to steal it from them.
No, she gave it up straight away.
Shit.
Put up a fight.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
Okay, so you do feel the gentle hand of Louis at your back. Lysandra, let's check in for a moment after this monumental decision. How is she feeling in this moment?
I think Lysandra is feeling pretty pissed. That's probably the best way to put it. I think Louis would notice that her fists are like rock hard, sort of, you can see like the whites of her knuckles. Even though her skin is already pretty pale, this is like, you can tell that there's rage behind them. And she's kind of just fuming, trying to control herself so she doesn't just storm back in there. I think Lysandra would, not even turning to Louis, just feeling the hand on her back, just say, was that the right thing?
Louis with her hand on Lysandra's shoulder, and seeing the tight coil of every muscle in her body, I think, just kind of tightens her hand a little more to like provide almost like a grounding presence, and just says, kiddo, it's a decision. It's a turning point. It's a place that has given you comfort and training and a life to lead, but from what I've seen, that's not the life you wanted to live. It seemed to be very restrictive, from what I could tell.
Did they even care about me?
Do you care that they even cared about you? Do you want to give weight to the things that they told you and the direction they gave you? The path that they put you on? Do you want to give that the space that it has taken up for you so far?
No, I don't. They don't deserve that.
and you deserve better than what you've gotten from them. You deserve a family. So the next step is just, what are you going to do about it?
Lysandra turns around to Louis at this moment, and I feel like, Louis, you would see this kind of blazing look of rage mixed with almost ambition. Well, I'm still going to fight. I'm going to fight for the right things now, and fight, I guess, to find out more about where I'm from. But I need your help. I can't do it alone. And well, I feel pretty stripped back, like I've got nothing now. But I've got you, and Feng, and Qwig, and all I want to do is stop Yellen, stop this madness. Can you help me?
I think I know someone who could give us a hand. And you've got all of us at your back.
As Louis leads Lysandra, together you begin the long, zigzagged track up the side of the gorge to the hollowed keep. With Louis leading the way, you appear quickly in the Jarl's Plaza to a new sight. Can you both give me perception checks, please?
Of course.
What did you roll, Lysandra?
9.
Louis got a 13.
Even with those average rolls. I don't know, I was like, they're not great, they're not good.
10. I got above a 10.
Yeah, above a 10. While the structure here still retains its magnificence, the opulent strings of flags and throngs of people are gone, replaced instead by a gathering of crestfallen comrades. Standing around the administrative building, you see a huge crowd of the Jarl's deputies, some in deep, rushed conversations, others looking around listlessly and worried. Centrally to this group, you see a small pile of copper badges and scimitars piled high, slowly being added to by deputy after deputy, who throw their uniform to the ground and walk dejected from the plaza.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Louis, with that 13, upon the porch of the administrative building, you see the Commandant Constantine. She's reclining in a large rocking chair, slowly moving back and forward. Her immense rifle nestled in her lap, just as cold and steely as her expression, which is only betrayed by the piece of hay she is chewing on, with purpose, rage, and sadness? What do you do?
Seeing this whole situation, this dejection, this giving up of sorts, there's context that's missing in terms of exactly what's going on. Like, we know that the Jarl's in trouble, but in terms of why everyone's giving everything up, so I think she's going to head straight over to the Commandant and just kind of not trying to interrupt her thoughts, but just say, "Good morning. What exactly is the situation? What's happening?"
At the sound of your voice, you see the deputies begin to clear a path, and you approach the Commandant. Up close, and for once seated beneath you, you begin to notice Constantine. Truly. While still fierce and stoic, she is aging, and the silver streaks in her hair and eyebrows give you pause as she addresses your question. "Well, I guess your expedition was successful, eh? Glad to see someone is having something of a success around here." And she gestures to the crowd of the deputies in front of her. Some are paying her attention to her words and others are not.
Looks like the water situation's made everybody a bit up in arms.
You see she rubs her forehead and goes, "Yes, well, the deputies are spooked. Such an occurrence that turns the city on its head really rustles up the small folk. And they love a bit of change and they love a bit of drama here on the frontier. And so it really is putting us in a pickle because they believe that our occupation of the city was unjustified."
That's a nasty one.
"My deputies are well spooked, Louis. They have lived here their whole lives and they know when a change is on the way. I suppose those with faith will join the tears in the end, though I shudder at the fate of those deemed undesirable by the mother."
If it's going by priory rules, then I don't think their fate will be too wonderful.
"No, I fear the borrowers may receive a few more recruits this year than they had expected."
Well, in desperate times, people are going to search for structure. They're going to search for a place a position that can give safety.
Well, I hoped for a little more desperation around here. The Jarl is in his keep preparing for the election, though I don't know how many people he'll convince being shut up inside like that.
Yeah.
Look, I've got my hands full here, as you can see, but you can go on ahead and enter the keep. Nothing of value is in there anymore, save for a couple of the Jarl's diplomatic friends who are also fleeing like flies in the rain.
She sounds so sad.
Lysandra, you're here too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think Lysandra's just trying to process what is actually going on. I think the last time I saw the Commandant, she was so, like, powerful and intimidating. And Lysandra, after being intimidated by Yellen, is now looking at this almost, like, sad older lady who's kind of just giving up and is still trying to control her rage and doesn't want to overstep what Louis is saying, but Louis can probably feel that Lysandra is, like, wanting to say something.
Yeah. I don't think Louis taken her hand off your shoulder this entire time, and I think as she feels you kind of, like, tensing and wanting to speak, she'll turn to you and say, well, you're a fighter. You've been dedicated to a cause before, and what happens in these kind of situations usually with this sort of dejection? Do you have any recommendations, anything that could be done?
Look, I've seen what faith can do to people. I've seen how people gather for answers or for hope, for either a leader or a god. And I've seen the devastation that Yellen's caused. I've witnessed it firsthand. She took everything. We can help you, Commandant. We can fix this.
You see the glimmer of a kindly expression glances across her face, but she looks at you with kinder eyes and says, well, I appreciate those mighty fine words, but the Jarl has plenty of fine words and looks where it's got him so far. I feel this will only be resolved in steel at the end of the day. Who steel that is still remaining to be seen. So, as you move on...
I think Louis kind of smiles and just hands the Commandant one of her remaining hard candies and just says, don't worry, Grandma's going to go talk to the young son, see if I can work out what's going on in his head at least.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh god, okay. Disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion, it's a 9.
You see, you place the hard candy on her lap, nestled next to her gun, and you see it remains there as she slowly rocks back and forward as you retreat to the keep. Moving inside, Louis, the energy, opulence, and sanctuary that you encountered before is all but gone. None of the Jarl's servants can be seen, save for the occasional attendant to a foreign diplomat, rushing clothes and luggage to and fro between corridors and hallways. I will now enable you both to make a perception check again as you enter the space.
Louis got a natural 1.
Lysandra got a 5.
Not great. It is hectic in here, and the sense of calm that you experienced before is really a shock to the senses as you enter this space. Some of these said diplomats are standing around, dressed for travel and looking nervous. With those abysmal roles, you can't really identify any of them or where they come from their clothing or insignia. Others sit dejected upon large cushions on the floor, smoking and drinking in ways of excessive consumption, rather than privileged frivolity. Lysandra, with that 5, which is the lowest DC to see something,
Oh gosh.
you do notice one familiar face amongst this crowd. You spy Arduinavir,
Ah.
Gosh.
no longer shackled to a guard, and of all the company here, seems the most pleased and contented.
Of course he does.
I was going to say, as soon as Constantine brought up the diplomatic allies, I was wondering where Arduinavir went to.
I was about to bring it up. I was like, do we see Arduinavir?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we do. Of course we do.
Lysandra, as you move forward, you see he recognizes you, but does this thing where, you know, when you see like an old high school teacher out in public, and it's like, you both know you know each other, but you're just deciding on whether or not to actually make the introduction or just go on about your day.
Lysandra is going to tap Louis and just direct her view over to Ardwenavir. That's that elf, right?
Oh, the one from the caravan. Ardwenavir? Yeah, that's
Didn't
him.
you say he was all, like, shackled up?
Yeah, trapped up. Seems like this situation might be benefiting him. Maybe we should go see if we can find out anything that's been going on.
Let's do that.
You see as you approach, he does a thing where he desperately looks anywhere else in the room to try and delay your introduction as long as possible before meeting your gaze and saying, "Oh, hey, it's, you guys? What were your names again?"
What a liar.
Oh my goodness. Lady Louis, pleasure to make your introduction formally.
Yes. And,
Ardwenavir, it's lovely to meet you again. It's Lysandra.
come again? How do you spell that?
Are you... I'm not even going there. What is going on here?
You see he's just gleefully just like looking around and says, "Well, yeah, things are getting pretty bad here in the city. I mean, bad for certain people, I guess. You know, my father did get me out of that little disagreement with the commandant, nothing a few platinum can't fix. But, he's insisting that I return post-haste to prepare for the new semester at the conservatory," and he rolls his eyes at this.
Oh, darling, fully paid tuition and study.
I know, there's so much to do. I need to get my textbooks gilded and illuminated. Plus, fittings for this year's wizard robes. I refuse to look untailored in a public place.
Gosh.
I think Louis just literally, like, at this gratuitous display of, like, disregard for wealth and power. She just kind of, like, puts her head in her hands like she's getting a migraine for a second and just says, "You know what, kiddo? That sounds so difficult. Such a burden for you to have to manage."
You see his eyes furrow for a second, and then he points at Louis and says, "Sarcasm! I love it! You guys are far more interesting now that you're not covered in dust and annoying me in a wagon. That's where I remember you from." And you see he gestures around to the other diplomats, and he's like, "These old farts are so boring, but I would like to see how this all turns out. The Jarl has fallen from grace so spectacularly and so hard, it would be a pity to miss the fireworks, wouldn't you agree?"
There's certainly going to be a showdown.
"Yes, what's a few more days, and then Daddy can arrange the teleportation circle and get me out of this mess." At the sound of him saying Daddy, you do remember from Qwig's research who his daddy is. Who your daddy?
Joanna's daddy.
So are you going to give us anything useful at all to help us understand why his downfall has been so fast?
You see he gestures above him and says, "The sky fell."
Well, obviously.
Well, okay, well, it seems that you are ignorant of what happened, and so I'm giving you information. That little priestess sure is a firecracker, if you pardon the irony in that, being a water priestess. I do say, though, I've never known of clerics of Persephone to be able to control the weather in such veracity and specificity.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you, like, Ardwenavir is a wizard, right? He studies magic. Can you ask him if he understands any of the arcane things happening and whether a cleric should have the power to be able to create a storm this long and this big?
Yeah.
I think as Louis kind of clocks who his dad is from the conversation with the rest of the party and kind of thinks about, the thing of the nature of what he just said, I think she's going to speak up and say, "Your family's well trained in magic of that sort. That's, as you say, it shouldn't be as possible. Do you have any idea of the arcane might that she might be using? Any, like, favors or spells that she might have under her control?"
You see Ardwenavir thinks for a minute, kind of picks his teeth with his wand, and says, "Look, and don't really pay that much attention in class, to be honest. But I do know this. No acolyte of any demigod should be that powerful enough to command a storm. If you ask me, whoever tapped into that magic vein, I wouldn't expect it to be an entry-level cleric. That's all I can think of. Where's your little dragonfly friend and that big furry oaf?
You could learn to be a little nicer with your words when you're addressing people, but they're collecting and collating research, if you're so interested.
Well,
I'm not gonna say that. No, I know.
Well, I do find courtesy is a tradition of the small folk. I'm sorry, it is wasted on me sometimes.
Lysandra wants to punch this guy so bad.
Just do it then. I don't know what's holding you back.
He broke his ankle once. Nothing's happened.
Look, if he says any more smack about Louis and Lysandra here.
Don't tell the DM that, he's going to bait you.
Do it, I dare you.
Look, if you want to know what's happening, go ask the Jarl. But, look, I'm just here for the show. The summer break has already ended, as you are well aware, so I'm wanted back. So, whatever it is, I hope he does it sooner rather than later, so I can get out of here.
If you're hanging around for a couple of days, if you find anything interesting, you want to come tell us?
Well, that's fine. I mean, you could find me in Miss Miranda's saloon. She hasn't extended an invitation to me specifically, but I doubt any of you would receive such a lofty invitation. The septic speakeasy is closed, so I think that's the only place of reputation left in this city. That's where you will find me. Ta-ta! And he does a small little, shooing motion to you.
Interesting that the speakeasy closed.
Yeah.
We heard something about the speakeasy last time, didn't we? That someone else is there?
Yes, I mentioned the same thing. I can't remember who it was, though. I think as we go to walk away and he, shoos us off, I think Louis is just going to kind of she's a bit taken aback by that. Because even if she is small folk, there's still a thing of you should respect your elders. So I think she's just going to, as she walks away, be like, you know, kiddo, there's a thing called basic respect and decorum when you're talking to people. Even if you're not friends with them, you should be a little bit nicer in those fake leather boots. Come on. It's just going to cause vicious mockery.
Fake leather.
It's ethical.
I'd
rather be a vegan.
Hydrated mango and avocado.
He would be vegan.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
I wasn't 18 on the dice.
No.
Silvery bobs.
So worth it.
Just fight him. Break his ankle.
That's a 15 on the dice. You see, he says, thank you for the advice, Lewis.
I think Lysandra seems... No.
She did the thing. You don't get to pile on.
I want to help my
You had a chance. You also had a chance.
Yeah, I think she just, takes it, smiles, just sort of, gives him a little wink and says, okay, kiddo, go have fun, explore. Enjoy while you're out of your confines of society.
Hope you don't drown in this rain.
I hope he does drown.
No, I just
hope you don't land face first in a puddle and don't get back.
Yeah, literally.
Don't forget, you can drown in 3 inches of water.
That's all I'm saying.
Or he's dumb enough to just look up during the rain and not look back down and drown himself.
Oh no, I forgot to close my mouth!
Oh no, the rain's blinding me!
What do I do?
Honestly, he is dumb enough.
Gets jaw locked.
Yeah.
Up to the sky.
Pushing past Arduinavir, you make your way to the familiar sloping staircase encased within the perimeter of the building. Arriving before the Jarl's chamber, you see that the door is slightly ajar and can hear the sounds of soft weeping within. Can I get you guys to either make a perception check or an insight check?
Yeah. Louis is going to make an insight check.
Lysandra's going to make a perception check.
Whew. Louis got a 24.
Very nice.
Lysandra got a dirty 20.
Beautiful job.
The air is definitely lighter up here, and there is more natural light. And as you push open the door, the sight that greets your eyes is in great contrast to the character of Jarl Sigurd Scruff you were led to believe existed. Curled into a ball on the floor, resting his head upon his hound, you see the Jarl of Lal Udrud covered loosely in a dirty smock, speckled with stains and spills. His hair is unkempt and untidy. He wears no shoes, and he hiccups slightly as you enter the room. Milady?
Hey, kiddo. As she kind of enters the room, I think she's gonna just move up and kind of sit down cross-legged next to him. Been a bit of a rough one, huh?
You could say that, I suppose. But I'm not out yet, he says, raising like an empty bottle of wine. You see, as his vision focuses on you, Lysandra, his visage quickly darkens. You're one of hers! You here to strike me down, eh? A foregone conclusion in her eyes, I guess. And you see he starts to stumble to his leg, begins to stumble to his feet and looks around for his rapier.
Hey.
Lysandra's just going to storm over and just put her hand on his shoulder and shove him back down. I'm not one of hers!
Make a persuasion check. Make an intimidation check.
Please, dice. It's 5.
You see your protests, he has already made his conclusion, and so while you are physically able to push him back down, he's still flailing around.
I think Louis is going to put her hands on his shoulders, direct his face back towards hers, and just say, Sigurd, sit down, calm down, she's not with her. Can we just have a conversation? I understand you're upset, but behaving like a child right now is not going to help you. She's going to, with this, cast Calm Emotions. It is a charisma saving throw.
That is a 5 on the dice. You see his expression begins to lighten, although his eyes do seem to be swimming a little bit with the effects of the spell. The election's in 4 days. Also, I bargained with Yellen to give me some reprieve. Where did she come from?
As far as I'm aware, the Priory of Skye.
Well, that much I know, especially with all that water. People were clamouring for it, and boy did she give it to them. At first, she was just in need, filling small receptacles should they pay homage to her in that little tent in the city. But then came the storm. I don't know how she did it, or claims to do it. The stone druids have tried to call the rains for centuries, to no avail. They told me in strictest confidence that they believed the gods had forsaken this place from any reprieve. I'm probably going to lose this election. I will go down fighting should I have to, but I'm worried on who she will pick for her champion. Likely a bruiser, and I fear someone I have never fought before. You see, he looks at you with darkness in his eyes and says, The bear. With the arrival of water now plentiful, the supply of food and water can be guaranteed here, annihilating their whole operation. If Yellen is astute as I presume, she will not let such a loose end sway in the breeze of change, and will likely secure it to her rule. The bear is also, let's face it, too stupid and opportunistic to ignore her.
Seems like quite a threat that's being built within this place.
Have you encountered the burrowers before on your journeys, on your expedition?
Yes, we have. We got caught up in their keep on the way here.
Wait, you've made it into their keep?
She nods.
Not in a pleasant way.
Definitely not. I do not want to repeat that. Oh my god. She kind of dry heaves a little bit.
You see Jarl Sigurd, you feel in your magic he starts to resist the spell as he reaches forward to you and tugs your sleeve and he says, Louis, you must do this. You must infiltrate the Burrower's keep and assassinate the bear to give me the best chance to redeem myself. You must do this. You said that we could change the world, and this is what I need to change it. Do not deny me this, please, I beg of you.
I understand desperation. I understand fear. You're in a position that is volatile and terrifying, and in a place like this, being on the back foot is never safe. I will look into it. I will see. We have 4 days. I don't want to have to solve everything with the maximum amount of violence. We have potentially a little bit of leverage within our relationship with him. But if it goes sideways, I'll do my best.
Lysandra butts in. If we do not assassinate him, who will be your champion? Will you fight, or will you get someone to fight for you?
You see his face hardens with this, and he begins to sober a little bit, and he says, Jarl Scruff may not make the best decisions, but he is no coward. This is my ship, I go down with it.
Well, if you are to go down with your ship, then surely Yellen must be the one to fight you and not some goon.
You see he shakes his head. Because the existing Jarl has the right to challenge a combat to retain their rule, the old laws state that whoever is challenged may pick a champion. I too may pick a champion.
Well, the chance that she chooses the bear is very high, given she wanted to choose me, or did choose me, and I turned her down.
You see he raises an eyebrow at this and says, well, it seems our purposes are aligned.
I guess so.
If you want Yellen out of this city, keeping me in this keep is the best way to do so. And the best way to do so is to remove the bear. Any other goon she picks, I will defeat. But I have never seen that man fight. But I have seen the remnants of his fighting, and it is not pretty. It is said he's able to tear a man in half with his bare hands.
Bare hands.
Yes. Roar. And with that,
I did have one more question. I'll clear. I'm just above table stakes before we go into it. I wanted to ask him about the fact that Yellen was brought here by what's your city name? Feldspar. And ask if he's aware of like any kind of reason that they would want this city so badly. I'm just checking to see if that's a wise question to ask or not.
Why would the church want to control this city?
Yeah, for the magic.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just.
But I want you as Louis to connect those dots.
Yeah, I think as Louis sees him just in this state of disrepair almost, she's just gonna like lean in, give him a kiss on the forehead, and say, "Stay strong, kiddo. You're doing well. We'll see you soon."
And with that, we move back to the Four Eyes outpost. To the nap, to the nap brigade. Feng and Qwig, you definitely have a sleep itch.
Yeah.
Louis and Lysandra were early to rise.
And we gave him a little wave on the way out. They're like, bye guys, going out. And we go a little,
Can both of you give me a constitution saving throw? Just to see how you're feeling. You will rest off this level of exhaustion for today, but just to flavor it.
Qwig got an 11.
Feng got an 8.
Yes. Qwig, just by virtue of the fact that you are a lot smaller, you just bounce back from things because there's less of you to repair. But you are both still pretty catalytic. Wait, what's that? Is that the word? Catatonic.
Catalytic
converter?
Catalytic, like catalyst? Like Europium? Like...
We are Europium.
Oh my god.
No, like Cadillac. No. You are both a little bit catatonic still, but the Professor and Irene are busy to work now that the rain has cleared to return the outpost to its former glory. What would you like to do in your day off?
Just quickly, do we still have our level of exhaustion each?
You do still have your level of exhaustion each.
Okay. Feng, still with that level of exhaustion, is probably not even going to go to the extent of trying to get out of bed and is instead going to summon Promi in bed with him. And he's going to use this almost like a rainy day and stay in and take Qwig's advice of like watching how he kind of calms down and centers himself, is going to do some reading, which is not common for Feng.
Oh my god.
And him and Promi are going to try to read the book on animal husbandry.
The pigeon book?
The pigeon book. Like, what better thing to do on a rainy day when you've got a level of exhaustion?
Yeah, there are some pictures in there as well.
Yeah, so Feng's more relying on those.
Yeah, you see Feng converts Promi into a reading light and just sets him on his head to give him something to read on, and finds a cozy corner as the others begin to clean up. Feng, give me just an intelligence check.
Okay. Well, would I have disadvantage on this because it's still an ability check?
I'm saying Promi is giving you the help action.
Sweet, thank you. That's an 11.
11. You read through this book of animal husbandry and you see, as a druid, it's a little bit risque for you because it is a lot of like breeding for desirable traits and like going against the natural kind of way of nature. However, you do appreciate that by doing this, these people get such a acute understanding of the creatures in their charge that you do find that admirable. And I guess as a wildfire druid whose connection to nature is not necessarily stock standard on what you would think, it does kind of give you a sense of pride that there are other kind of weird and unorthodox ways in which people interact with nature that still makes sense.
For sure. Feng is kind of coming at this from the angle of like, Promi is potentially a harbinger of doom, so he's almost like looking towards, you know, this training of a pigeon or training of a bird. Yeah, have a train your phoenix. What a great movie. Yeah. And
You get slapped by the crop.
It's too perfect.
So yeah, he's kind of just looking through this book of like, is there any tricks that he can teach Promi? Is there any ways that he can keep Promi like safe and less doom and gloom?
You do see that there are some instincts that you can train using food rewards for Promi. And if you want to spend the rest of the day training with Promi and kind of getting him more responsive to your commands rather than intuition, you can make a animal handling check with advantage from the book.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think Feng's still not even getting up. Like, he's probably just using some cantrips, maybe even some, like, bugs that he had left over, some of those locusts that flew through.
Just picking them out of your teeth and feeding them to Promi.
Oh, no, he's, like, playing games with Promi, like, throwing them into certain parts of the room, and Promi has to fetch them, and or, like, even, like, sticking them to parts of the wall, and Promi has to, like, almost try and jump as high as he can to get it. So, an animal handling with advantage?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Is that cancelled out because I've got a level of exhaustion?
Yeah, so it's just flat.
That's an 11.
11, the DC was 10.
Sick.
Nice.
So, with your day of research, Feng, you have improved your wildfire spirit.
Oh.
Feng, can you please read for me your wildfire spirit summoning ability?
Yeah, sure thing. As an action, you can expend one of your wild shape features to summon your wildfire spirit, rather than assuming a beast form. Each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, other than you, when it appears, must succeed on a dex saving throw, DC 14, or take 2d6 fire damage. The spirit manifests for 1 hour until it is reduced to 0 hit points, until you summon the spirit again, or until you die.
You have unlocked 2 abilities. So you are able to summon Promi in 30 feet, now in any direction. So Promi can be 30 feet above you in the air, and he is now incorporeal, so you can summon him through walls and objects, or command him to move through walls or inanimate objects.
Holy crap!
That's amazing.
That's huge!
I will say, if he uses his entire movement and is not outside of an object, he will
automatically reappear in the space closest to me, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. I think he does have to stay within a certain range to me still. No, it doesn't say that.
Nope.
Sweet.
Wonderful. Yellen, what are you doing with your day off?
Yeah, Qwig, though slow to rise, gathers himself eventually, probably around midday, and wants to check in with the professor, see how she's doing now that she is assistantless.
Probably woken by Promi running across your sleeping body.
You approach the professor, and Irene is still here. And although Irene is still helping, while she has all of the energy, she does not have the expertise in this particular role. While she's done enough to keep the outpost running in your absence, you do see the professor is kind of like eye twitching as she puts scrolls back in the wrong place or not in alphabetical order. You see, she turns to you and says, Qwig, If you're not busy, I could really use a hand.
Of course, Professor.
You can make an investigation check for me to try and sort out the documents in here.
All right. Do that at disadvantage. And get a 9.
A 9.
Dewey decimal this up.
You see, Qwig does slowly begin to switch his brain back on and starts meticulously walking behind Irene and not actively cleaning up, but cleaning up the mistakes that Irene is making. You're kind of nonchalantly moving things around behind her. As an illusionist wizard, you kind of have a eidetic memory in terms of like where you've seen things before, and you're just almost mindlessly assisting, just like you've got the worst hangover, and they're just working the Sunday shift.
And particularly hard on this Sunday morning recording session.
You reach out to grab something that's in the wrong place, and you realize that it's a bag, and it's got multiple things in it.
What kind of bag?
It's got the inscription of a rucksack from the Four Eyes in Feldspar.
Do I think this might be Holly's?
With that 9, you cannot tell.
I do a little dig through.
You look in and you see that there, inside this rucksack, there is a letter, a smaller pouch, and 3 scrolls.
Ooh.
Is the letter sealed?
Yes. You see, on the front of the letter, it is addressed to the Professor.
Alright, I'll take a look at the scrolls. I will not open the letter yet.
You see inside are 3 magic scrolls, sealed with a blue star of wax, suggesting these are copies from the Starlit Conservatory.
Ooh. Professor?
You call over for the Professor, and you see she appears and says, "Quick, what is it?"
This bag, whose is it?
That was, she stops for a minute and says, that must have been Holly's old rucksack. I guess she won't be needing it anymore.
I guess not. Well, this letter was addressed to you.
You see the Professor opens the letter and begins to read. You see her brow furrows for a moment until it softens, and you see a singular tear fall down her long kitsune nose.
Oh, what's it about?
She hands you the letter, hands you the rucksack, and says, "Keep it. I can't use these anyway."
Oh, all right. I'll put them somewhere, and I go back to sorting. And very, very confused by the sadness, I will walk away to a different part of the tent and read what the letter said.
You take the letter back to the light of the brazier and begin to read. "Dearest Professor, forgive me. I hope you do find this one day, and our hirelings will bring you back safely. I hated to deceive you from the first, as you have given me nothing but support and courage, something I have oft resolved to find only in myself. Curiosity for curiosity's sake, while a noble intent, will get you killed, Professor. In this world, knowledge is power, and if you wish to never return to the icy tundras of Lorne, you, too, should take what you can to secure yourself in this dangerous world. H."
Okay. Quick folds up that letter, put that aside for now, and he's gonna open up those scrolls.
You see the rest of the contents.
So much emotion. Sorry.
You see that the rest of the contents of the pouch are those 3 scrolls and a smaller pouch containing 200 gold.
Ooh.
There are other knickknacks and things in there. You see some like old clothes and things like that. The 3 scrolls contain the spells Floating Disc, Identify, and Chromatic Orb.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Okay.
You think back to the battle now and it starts to make sense that Holly herself wasn't casting spells, but she was definitely using them. And it seems that she was able to trick you enough to make her seem as unassuming as possible until she needed to in the right moment.
Of course, that's how she faked being a wizard, was just by using scrolls, and we didn't even realize.
Yeah, she'd studied magic
Yeah.
without learning how to do magic.
Metagame, her intelligence score is high enough to succeed.
Still don't know how to feel about any of this, but he's gonna take those scrolls.
Yeah, good.
He's like, holy, just drift off and starts reading the scrolls. He just drifts off doing that.
You want to copy them into your spellbook?
Oh yeah.
Right. You need to make these are first level spells. You need to succeed on a DC 11 intelligence check and use 50 gold in order to transcribe these spells into your book.
Can it be Arcana instead of Intelligence? I'm just asking.
It sure can, but it's still going to be with disadvantage.
I have +8 in Arcana.
Yeah, that's because Intelligence is capped at a +5, and Arcana you can get at least.
Yeah.
So how many spells are you trying to copy in for the day?
I'll try and do all 3.
It's 2 hours per level of the spell, right?
Yeah, so it'll take you 6 hours, so the rest of the day.
Plus, you have a few spells from Bathilda still. You bought 2 from her, remember?
Yeah,
have you
we
copied
did that in
those?
downtime.
How many? You have 6 hours, so you can learn up to 3.
Yeah, I'll do 3.
Sick.
Sweet. You need to make 3 DC 11 Arcana checks.
Okay.
With disadvantage?
With disadvantage.
Oh.
But +8 Arcana. Okay. If it wasn't at disadvantage, I could have got a nat 20 there, but that is a 19 instead.
Nice.
19.
What's the first spell you copy?
I think Chromatic Orb. I think he's like, okay. He's seen a lot of evocation magic because his master at the conservatory was an evocation wizard. He's like, I think this will be a good one to start with.
Interesting that she had that when she was all about like alchemical properties, and that's almost like, isn't that all about doing like different elemental magic?
Yeah, it's
damage?
a kind of little blow stuff up with stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
That's why she left it behind.
It's very her.
Yeah.
What's the second one you're going to do?
Identify.
Okay, roll that up.
That one is still going to beat the DC with a 13.
13.
Nice.
You are able to copy Identify into your book. That's 100 gold gone.
Yep, great. And floating disc.
Qwig is just writing for 6 hours straight.
Yeah. As soon as
While exhausted.
he is locked in.
Qwig, buddy, I think you need to like take a break at some
It's
point.
like people are being too emotional, and I just need to do this for today. This is actually very relaxing for me.
It's not healthy to always run away from your emotions.
I'm not
sometimes-
running away
Okay,
He goes, yeah. Yeah, okay, so we go floating disc.
Let's go.
Boom. That is an 18.
Yes.
Nice.
You have no problem transcribing these low-level spells into your book. You still retain 50 gold from Holly's pack, and just as you finish transcribing your last spell into the book, Louis and Lysandra return to the Four Eyes outpost.
Hey.
At their arrival, you see the professor trots over to each of you, bowing deeply and thanking you for your service, paying you each 150 gold.
Whoa.
I'm back up to 200 gold.
I'm a druid. I don't normally get gold, so I don't know how to feel about this. I'm the richest I've ever been.
You do notice on these coin pouches, they carry the insignia of Feldspar. 3 jutting sails of an airship.
How does Lysandra feel about that?
I think Lysandra kind of takes the pouch, just looks at it silently for a moment, doesn't have another pouch to put the money in, and just kind of is looking around for anything else she could use. And what you notice is that she has no armor, she doesn't have her necklace anymore, her hair is out, she kind of looks like a bit of a mess. And she's kind of not really acknowledging it. She's just like, arms crossed holding this thing, kind of nervously with around, looking at the fact that both of you have been nerding out on books with me.
I think Qwig's still just finishing off writing his thing, and he kind of looks up, and instead of giving a normal person greeting, he just goes, messy. And then goes back to writing. just the first thought that came to his head, and then he's back into hospitality.
Yeah, Feng will just look over at him and be like, Qwig's been a bad influence on me today. I read a book and did a lot of research, but I mean, Lysandra, are you okay? Like, what's happened?
Well, let's just say I'm not a knight of the Priory anymore.
Oh shit.
And I want to... No, I'm not going to say it. I don't like Yellen anymore. She doesn't have the title sister for me. She is just Yellen, and I do not like her.
I've never really liked her.
Me neither.
I mean, I never liked her either, but I held some sort of respect for her. Now I have absolutely nothing. And I am scared for the city if she wins this election.
I guess this is also the moment that Qwig and Feng would be learning that she's going for election as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Qwig would perk up when you said election. Why would she be going? Did we know about this beforehand? No,
No.
didn't think so. Yeah. Wait, she's trying to overthrow the Jarl?
She's
They have
trying-
elections here?
You don't just rule.
She...
Yeah, for a fairy from the Fey Court, that's like bonkers.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You don't have ancient lineage with Fey blood?
She has basically already won. Without even saying it, she has gained so much power just by bringing about rain. Is that even possible for... Qwig, is that possible for someone just to bring about a giant maelstrom like that?
I don't think one person could do such a thing.
You know it's possible.
Yeah.
Like an archwizard
Yeah.
or a high-level cleric.
Yeah.
You can make a check if you want.
Yeah. Let's see if Qwig has ever seen someone
Bring an entire maelstrom.
even learned about someone who's powerful enough to do that.
Disadvantage?
Yeah. Like a history check? Or
Arcana check. I want to say you witnessed the storm, so...
yeah. 10.
10. With a 10, your first instinct is this is divine in nature, but you have made your assertion of Yellen that there's no way that she could compel a divine intervention from a god. And so you are just thinking about the other ways in which someone could tap into the power of a god or a higher deity.
And we as a party had also been told that the rain started pretty much the exact same time that that portal
Open.
opened.
Yeah, that's
So
what Qwig had been thinking.
we probably assumed it was that. So to learn that it was potentially one person is interesting.
Should we also be worrying about the fact we left the gate open to the secret city?
Well, the map shows us that there's actually more than one gate. So we kind of have to figure out what we're going to do about that.
But I guess they might all have to be opened. I don't know if they're all open,
I think so, because we came out at the henge.
but maybe
Which-
the Arcanites had arranged that.
But it wasn't there when we were there last.
Mm.
Because when we
So you
left,
think they're all open?
I think they're all open now.
Is this in character?
Oh, sorry.
Am
I
talking my
shifted
voice
into
or
Daniel.
not?
We were theory crafting. But I mean, we
Okay.
clearly have a lot as a party to work out and figure out what we're going to do in this city in terms of Jarl, Scruff versus Holly. Sorry, not Holly. Yellen as well. And so Feng will probably use this moment to kind of turn to everyone and be like, you know, let's flash back to like a month ago when I got you all kicked off that carriage, which have I apologized for that, by the way? I think I have a
Many
few
times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of
times.
times.
Just
I
checking.
think you're clear.
Just checking. I wanted to make sure, you know, I always put people's feelings and emotions first. So I've kind of joked about this a few times, but like Lysandra, with you kicked out of the Priory, I just wanted to make sure that you're all okay, still traveling together and maybe like, you know, being a group and like maybe we can even name ourselves. I've been, you know, thinking of some. We bring up that really bad time in the sewers a lot, like maybe something like the shit stirrers or like we go off in separate directions sometimes and we're pretty crazy. So like we're cracked crusaders or like Cecilia's shepherds because Cecilia was such a big part of us for like 2 days.
I mean, she was a big part of us, but does it really sum us up as a group? I do agree we need a name, and I want to stick with you. I need everyone's help. I don't know where I'm going now, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want your help, and I want to be with you all, so I think staying as a group is a good idea.
I think we're well stuck together, and oh, that's an appalling pun. Leading on from that bad train of thought, we have ended up messing with a lot of wells within the past month or so.
Wait, remember that dragon?
Dragons.
The well
wishing
messes.
well wishes.
Well springers, maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, we're kind of springing around a lot.
Jumping between.
We've traveled a lot.
Jumping between places, getting wishes out of wells. Well springers? For now, maybe?
we're the Wellspring is for now, I guess.
I like it.
Wellspring is for now.
For now.
And we will become well known.
Yeah. Yeah, what's our logo?
But also, speaking of the well and the keep and a month ago, the Jarl has asked us to assassinate the bear so that he doesn't become Yellen's champion.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, that was a
We
harsh
should explain
left turn.
it.
Yeah, so we're going to spring through the well.
Just gonna slip that in there.
I don't know how else to do it.
I feel like a little bit of
fair enough.
context is
Yes,
needed.
I'm getting there. Sorry. So how elections are done here, there's the kind of popular vote, but if the previous Jarl is voted out, they can challenge that with a duel, basically. They can nominate a champion and fight it out for their position. The Jarl is worried that Yellen is going to, now that the bear has lost his way of business, is going to try to recruit him into her service and name him as her champion, inducting those within the ranks of the burrowers into the city itself.
Which is far more likely now that I turned down being her champion.
I suppose that explains the no armor and no...
She stripped me of everything.
Oh.
like in her store, because that seems like kind of like a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stole your stuff.
Yeah.
With your decision on your party name and your musings continue into the night, suddenly you hear a behind you and a scroll falls to the floor.
Oh.
Oh?
Feng will reach down and
sealed?
pick it up. Yeah.
This scroll is also sealed, but this seal is a mixture of purple and red with a large gold M embossed on the front of it.
Feng has been told about the mistress by Blaine. Is it the mistress?
Make me a wisdom saving throw
Oh no.
God.
with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you are still exhausted.
No, it's...
Oh, sorry, but still with disadvantage,
Okay.
as you see M for mistress.
That's still a 17.
It's still with a 17. You really want to rip this open right now and read it.
Yeah, Feng just rips it open and reads it.
To your disappointment, Feng, this is not from the mistress.
Oh, never mind. Someone else can have it.
As
I gotta catch you, throw it to like the muddy ground. I'm like, oh no.
Quick as you pick up the scroll, you see that this is a letter of invitation for the Wellspringers to attend Miss Miranda's saloon.
Holy shit, she knows our name already.
I caught on so fast. I'm reading it out loud. You'll see.
And with that excitement, you all head to bed, contemplating your next moves for the days ahead, and you will all level up.
Yay!
So before we finish the session today, we will all roll our hit die.
Oh, and it's level
Gosh.
4, so we get to pick ability score or feats.
Correct.
Sick.
So at the start of our next episode, we will have everyone go around and say which feats or abilities they improved.
But we're going to roll hit dice now.
We'll roll hit dice now.
What an interesting way to end. I
Oh
loved
my
it.
goodness. I'm excited.
Who would you like to go first, DM?
Let's roll initiative.
Oh,
Oh.
Louis,
It's a 12.
quick.
That is a 1.
Luckily, it's not in-game. Amber.
Keeping it real, it's a 4.
Feng.
18.
Alrighty. So with that initiative, Feng, can you
Yeah.
roll your hit die? What are you rolling?
So I've got a D8. My hit point maximum at level 3 was 23. So I already get +3 for my con. So I'm up to 26 so far. Let's see what that goes to. It's a 1. I get to reroll ones.
Okay.
Just once though. Okay, that's a 4. So my hit point maximum goes up by 7. My total is 30 hit points. Promi also gets 5 extra hit points at this level, so his hit point maximum is 25.
Nice.
So tanky.
This little fire chicken has some spunk in him, Jesus.
Louis.
I currently have my hit point maximum of 24. I have a +1 modifier to my constitution, so it's 25. Plus the d8 from my hit dice
Let's go.
is 4, so...
29.
Hang on, yes, 29.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Not bad, not bad.
Lysandra, what are you rolling?
Alrighty, I am rolling a d10. I have a +2 to my constitution, and my current hit point maximum is 22. So with the +2, bring it to 24. And then with a extra 5, bringing it up to 29.
Nice.
Very nice.
Crazy that we're all around the similar.
I know.
Even with your D10
Oh
versus
yeah, that's so
RT.
crazy. I'm totally going to get up to 29.
You rolled pretty well in your hit.
No, it's impossible.
Never
Now the scores start to even out.
I have rolled pretty well.
Good going.
So Qwig currently has the maximum HP of 18 and is rolling a little d6 and
Yep.
adding +1 to that.
Okay.
So let's...
So it's 19 plus what you roll.
Yep. Plus 4.
Not bad.
Not
So up to a 23.
That's not bad for
Pretty
a
good.
D6.
Yep.
You have less hit points than Promi. That's so rough.
Oh.
But obviously you're a spell.
Honestly, that bird should be closer to the action than I am.
I've always got it. Yeah, you're standing back firing spells, so it's so different. It's so hard, early level wizards.
That bird, it could kill me.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in a fight with this bird.
Especially now that he's trained.
Contracts bird flu. Anyway, with that, that will be where we end our session for today. Does anyone have any selfless plugs before we finish up?
Yeah, I do today, actually. So a few weeks ago, Emerson and I went and saw Bob the Drag Queen perform, and it was so good. But my selfless plug today is actually for the opening act for that. They were a comedian, singer-songwriter from Wagga, and they were genuinely one of the funniest comedians and most talented singers I've ever seen live. Their name is Michelle Brazier. They are so fucking funny. I don't want to give you too much of like the jokes that she was telling because you have to experience it firsthand, and it's just totally my type of like crass but like ditzy dumb humor as well. So, and it just like fluctuates between the two so rapidly, and she does such an exceptional job of it.
And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at DownUnderDungeonPod. Like, comment, and don't forget to tag us in any of your fan art. Also, please give us a 5-star rating on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can look for new episodes each week. And with that, we will see you next week.
Thanks.
Goodbye for now from the Wellspringers.
We'll work on that.